Hey there, Heather from Blog It's Simple here, and welcome to Lesson 2 of my free course, How to Start a WordPress Blog. In Lesson 1, we covered how to set up your hosting with SiteGround, web host, and how to install WordPress on your site. So in that lesson, we ended up on our WordPress dashboard. So I'm going to give you a tour of that dashboard and show you how to sign back in case you ever get signed out or need to find your way back to your site. So when we finished the last lesson, this is the page where we're on. This is your WordPress dashboard. This is where you're going to set up your site, write your posts. This is your nerve center of your site. So in case you ever get logged out, there's two ways to get back into your dashboard. The first way is going through your hosting site, SiteGround. So if you go to siteground.com and click the login button, you're just going to log in with your details, and they should have sent you your details via email, so you should have those. So just go ahead and sign in. This is your accounts page. Click on My Accounts, and your site is right here, and just go ahead and click Go to Admin Panel, and that'll take you right to your dashboard. The other way to get into your dashboard is to go directly to your site. So you're going to go to the name of your site. So mine in this case is themoneysavvymom.com, and you're going to do WP-login or WP-admin, and that will take you to this login page. And you're going to have the details, the login information for your actual site, which may not be the same as your hosting account. So just remember that they could be different. So now that we're on the dashboard, I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview. This is Welcome to WordPress, and this can help you through the steps of getting started, but we're going to talk about that too. So if you want to see what your blog actually looks like, you can go up here to this link that says My Blog, and I'm going to open it in a new link. And this is what all new blogs look like right now. Usually your host will add like one free post, and then there's some default widgets. I haven't set up the name of my blog yet. This is the 2017 theme for blog or for WordPress, and so that's just what it automatically defaults to. So we're going to change that in the next lesson, but right now we're just going to talk about our dashboard. So this is your home page. If your site needs any updates, you'll see a little update icon up here, or you can click on this updates. I have the latest version of WordPress. All my plugins are up to date. All my themes are up to date. But this is where you would come if you needed to update anything. Jetpack is automatically installed on pretty much every WordPress site. Jetpack is a group of modules that can help you do a lot of things with your site. You can track your analytics, so your posts, views, page views, things like that. They have a related posts module. They have some sharing modules. They have a photon, which helps serve your images faster. You should play around with Jetpack, and we'll have a later tutorial specifically for Jetpack. Right now, we're not going to worry about it. So posts is where you actually go to write your posts. So this is the only post I have. This was automatically added by my host when I set up my site. This is where you would come to add new posts. You can actually add them from up here to this little new icon. If you needed to edit a post, you would come in here. You just hover over the name. You can edit it if you need to delete a post. You could also click the add new. So there's 3 ways to add a new post. Categories are one of the ways you can organize your posts. So this is where you would add new categories or edit your categories. And then tags, which are a different way to organize your posts, is the tag page. You would come in here to edit or add new tags. You can also add new categories and tags directly from your posts, and I'll show you how to do that later. Media is all your image files, video files, any kind of files that you upload onto your posts would be found in here. And if you want to add new, you just click add new, and they have a nice bulk updater. Pages are different than posts. Pages are static things like an about page, a contact page, things that don't really change. So this is where you would add or edit your pages. Comments are where you're going to manage your comments. There's a free test comment on here. So if you're using something like Ascomet or if you set your settings so that you have to approve comments, this is where you would come in to moderate your comments. I do strongly recommend that you do comment moderation. You don't want spam comments on your site, and we'll talk about that when we talk about managing comments. Appearance is where you edit your themes, you set up your themes, you set up your widgets, your menus, your header, everything like that, which we're going to get into in the next tutorial. Plugins is where you add new plugins. And you probably already have some that are automatically installed. Akismet, Hello Dolly, which is not activated, and then Jetpack. This is where we would also add new plugins, and there's a whole tutorial for that. Users is where you can edit your user account. You can add extra authors. You can do other things like that. This is probably not a page you'll use a whole lot, but in case you need to add a guest author, this is where you could go to add new, and you would send them an invite and they could become a new author. Tools are if you're importing or exporting information into your site, like if you're migrating a blog from another blogging platform, this is where you would do that. Settings are something that we're going to go over right now. This is where you can set your blog name. So I'm going to change the name of my blog because that's just the... And then the tagline is a little bit about your site, like a quick little blurb, elevator pitch about your site. You don't want to change your WordPress or your site address. Don't mess with those. If you need to change the email address where you get notifications about comments and things like that, this is where you would change your email address. If you're allowing memberships, you can click allow anyone to register. And then the default role I would just leave as subscriber. Your site language, and then your time zone. I would set my time zone personally. That way when you're publishing posts, it comes out right. You're going to want to find the town closest to you. For example, mine is Denver. Let's see. I know they're in the same time zone, so I'm going to set that as my time zone. You can set your date format if you have a different preferred date format, your time format, whether you want your week to start on Sunday or Monday, and then click Save Changes. And now if I go to that preview of my blog and I redo it, you're going to see it now has the name of my blog, The Money Savvy Mom. And then there's my tagline as well. Next, we're going to go to writing. There's a default post category called uncategorized. If you want that to be something else, you can change it. I wouldn't really mess with these settings too much. They're really not something you need to fidget with. Reading settings. This is an interesting setting. It's kind of an obscure place. This blog pages show at most. So on your blog, how many posts you want to show on each page. So if you want to show 6 posts on your main page, 8 posts, 10 posts, this is where you set it. This is also to show how many posts in your RSS feed. If in your feed you want full text or summary, and then search engine visibility. If you're just setting up your site and it's going to take you a little while, you may want to discourage search engines from indexing this site for now. So I'm going to set that for now while I'm setting up my site. But when you take your site live, you're definitely going to turn that back off. Discussion has to do with comments and things like that. You want to make sure that your settings are set up properly. The default settings are usually perfect. Some people get into issues here where they set like automatically close comments by mistake, and then their comment form disappears and they don't understand why. I like to make users must be registered and logged in to comment sometimes. You know, it kind of depends on your preferences. Here's comment moderation. So go ahead and set those to your preferences and then click Save Changes. The next thing you're going to want to set is permalinks. By default, it adds the day and date in your link. You don't want that. You want it to just have your post name. So I always go in, it's one of the first things I do when I install a site is go to my permalink settings and click the post name and then click Save Changes. Now another feature WordPress has recently added that's really important. There's a series of regulations out of the European Union called Gdpr. It's General Data Privacy Regulations. And so you have to have a GDPR compliant privacy policy on your site, you should always have terms of use and privacy on your blog. So WordPress has recently, like 2 days ago, made it really easy to add a privacy policy. So if you want to click on privacy, it says I don't have a privacy policy yet. As a website owner, I need to follow national laws. They made it easy so you can create a new page if you don't already have one, and they input a bunch of standard information. You would really want to read through this and make sure all of this makes sense to you. Basically, in your privacy policy, you have to tell your users what information you're collecting, what you're using the information for, if you're sharing their information with anyone, how you're storing their information, how long you keep their information, and how they can get rid of or request or get rid of their information. You would also tell them how you protect their data, your contact information. So really you would need to fill this out more, but it's a good starting place. So you definitely want to go ahead and click publish, and you now have a privacy policy on your site, but definitely, like I said, you need to go through and finish filling out that privacy policy. So that is a general overview of your dashboard. We're gonna get a lot more familiar and a lot more in depth with it, but that will just kind of let you know where everything is on your site to get started, and I'll see you in lesson 3.